you are going to think that Letecia is totally trolling us by the time we are finished reviewing the letter that she wrote to her judge. Now, we have all come to expect like next level BS from this woman, as well as 2020, and neither of them disappoint in this installment of the Letecia Stauch Show. Basically, the entire vibe of this letter is that she is the victim, that her rights are being taken away, and that she is being mistreated in the El Paso County criminal justice system. Now, she starts off real businesslike, and she thanks the judge for taking the time to look at her letter and look into, you know, these unjust processes that are taking place in her case. Now, she is like, look, I told my defense team about this, and before she even starts rambling off this letter and all the complaints in it, she's like, as an American citizen, I feel like I'm being denied my rights. Now, the second I read that part, I was like, get your popcorn, because this is going to be good. Now, she starts off saying, look, in 5 months, I've only seen my attorney one time. And I'm like, girl, especially if this is a public defender, you should be lucky you've even seen them one time. Now, she does acknowledge that, well, yeah, there is a pandemic going on, but that really doesn't slow her down from pivoting herself to be the victim. She still feels like she should not be held unconstitutionally, be denied the right to see her attorney, and to be abused. I am always amazed at these people who scream and cry about their rights being violated and this and that and da. Yet they had no problem, allegedly, taking the rights away of another human being, often in a horrifying way, such as this case. Now, she says there's no way that she can participate in her defense of her case by only meeting like on the phone with her attorney like 3 times a week for 1 hour each time. And she's like, look, I'm not able to be an active participant in my case. And a couple of things right off the rip, I'm like, yeah, well, you were pretty active in your case last January. That's how you ended up here. And number 2, I'm like, you're getting to talk to your attorney like 3 hours a week like that, even by phone? I mean, really? You know, that's, a lot of people can't say that. Now, we see a lot of this paranoid type rhetoric that she comes up with. You know, she's like, I'm being listened in on. You know, I can name several occasions where I've said something on the phone about someone or something, and the county jail acts on it like right away. So she's like, you know, hands down, they're listening to me. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, this girl is never gonna get out of that turtle uniform that they put you in when they think you're gonna do something to yourself. I mean, she probably will break records, because I can only imagine the things that she is saying on the phone, and they probably send the turtle suit people in right away on her. Now, she also talks about like there's cameras near the phones, so you know she's being recorded and listened in on in that way. And she's like, you know what, even when I'm on the phone, I'm handcuffed most of the time, and even then those handcuffs are causing me, you know, injury, and I'm not able to write things down. I mean, she names off tons of complaints about this, and she does acknowledge, she tells the judge, she's like, look, I know I can't tell you how to tell the jail how to do their job, but look, we can't deny or ignore that my rights are being violated. Now, she also gets real specific. She starts rattling stuff off about the damn Constitution, talking about the 8th Amendment protecting her from cruel and unusual punishment, and she reminds the judge that, hey, look, even though I'm in county jail, I am presumed innocent until proven guilty. And by the way, I am innocent. Now, during all this that I'm reading this, I'm just like, I cannot believe the gall of this woman. How dare she come up with this, I'm going to say, blasphemous stuff, knowing full well, allegedly, the things that she did to poor Gannon, and she's going to have the balls to sit here and complain about handcuffs being too tight, cruel and unusual punishment. To me, this is giving a middle finger to Gannon and his family, to those who really did care about him, and spitting in all their faces. I don't expect anything less from her at this point, but it's still so shocking to read the brazenness of it all. Now, y'all, she starts to build a case for why she is a decent human being, and I'm just like, girl, okay. She's like, look, I'm a pillar in my community, and let's pause there. You already know the type person that she is, rolling up through a grocery store line with expired coupons. Heads will roll, management will be called to the checkout lane. Now, she also talks about, look, I don't have an adult record, she doesn't do drugs, allegedly, and she has a doctorate in education. And I'm just like, girl, you need to sit down with your Liberty University degree. First of all, the amount of grammatical errors in this letter, are astounding. Not that I'm little Mr. Grammar King, but I mean, come on, if you want to spout stuff like this off, you better dot your I's and cross your T's. And then I'm also like this, I'm like, did they fire your ass before you even started on the first day? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, again, just sit down with all that talk. And thank God they did fire her, and then she walked off from that one job, whatever. You know, thank God she's done around other people's children and any children at this point. Clearly she doesn't do well with that. Then she's going to tell us the details of the actual cruel punishment that she perceives she is getting. Now she says like over 15 times she has been abused in transport. Now she cites things like, you know, knots on her head, bruised ribs, bloody ankles and wrists. Again, I'm just like, hold on, weren't you the one that like attacked an officer when you're in transport? Do you not think they are going to always make sure that you are cuffed up as much as possible? It's almost like actions have consequences. Now y'all, go ahead and buckle up your damn sofa seatbelt, get your damn popcorn. This one right here, I was like, I had to read it several times. I was like, surely I'm misreading this. Surely I have missed something. Surely this is my fault that I'm not interpreting this. And I was like, no, it is what it is. She starts talking about receiving threats in her peanut butter. And I have to draw the line somewhere, and I was just like, guards, we got a girl down in aisle 3 over here. Heavy medication to clean the mess up. As soon as I read that, I was like, oh, point blank, period, end of story, don't even question it. You know that her and her cell were covered head to toe, floor to ceiling, in the alleged threatening peanut butter. She is like a paycheck away from writing her name in poo-poo on the walls. Let's move on. Now she even has a theory about the threats in the peanut butter. She just didn't drop it completely. She's saying that because she provided evidence about her innocence and actually was like, look, I think so-and-so did it, that like these people are working with trusted people who work at the jail to sneak threats in her food about her being innocent. And look, as far as the staff of the jail goes, I'm like, girls and boys, y'all better buckle up for Mystery Meat Monday, because there ain't no telling what it's gonna say to her. Now, after all this, she goes into this like epic rant about the American flag, what it stands for, the founding fathers. I mean, you name it. You know, and she's doing all this, and she's like, look, I just don't feel like an American citizen, and it's all because of how I've been treated. And she says the founding fathers did not intend for these injustices in my case to happen. And I'm just like, damn, I mean, she's getting historical. I mean, this is really out there, y'all. It's really, really out there. Now, she continues to pander to the judge, and she's just like, look, I know you're going to do the right thing, you know, and look, I'm this educated woman, and, you know, yada, yada, yada. And despite all that, you know, she's like, I can't take all these injustices being done to me. The next thing she said pretty much will PO most anybody off. She said she lives every day not knowing, like, who will do something to her next, you know, who will put something in her food next, what injuries will happen, what abuse will happen. And I'm just like, oh my God. If poor Gannon was able to speak today, which, you know, allegedly, I think, though, that she took that right away from him. But if he was able to speak today, I imagine that he would say that's what his everyday life was like while he was under her care. And again, it just runs all over me. You know, how someone like her just feels that she should get treated differently. You know, and I do agree that, you know, innocent until proven guilty and whatnot, but I mean, it ain't looking good. Now, the next part is what tells me, I'm like, she might have gotten the damn mental health evaluation to swing in her favor, because she finishes this off by telling the judge, look, you know what? I just want to get this trial behind me. I want to get all this, you know, just behind me. I want it to be done with. And she wants to get this behind her so that she can, number one, start forgiving those who have persecuted her. And I'm like, oh, here we go again. You know, they always want to sit here and make themselves out to be the bigger person. You know what I mean? Like, well, look, I will forgive y'all because I'm just that kind of a decent human being. Now, she also wants to use the doctorate degree that she worked so hard for, you know, to continue in her career of education. And I'm just like, yeah, honey, that's not happening. She says she also wants to continue to be a soldier for Christ. And most importantly, and what I consider to be truly the salt in the wound, she wants to start the grieving process. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You're really going to say that? Like, you honestly wrote this letter and was like, this is a good idea to send out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, she could have at least given somebody a honey bun and been like, just read it and tell me if I'm crazy for sending it. And hey, maybe she was sending it hoping that it would make her look even crazier to work for her case. I mean, she might be doing some reverse psychology on us here. Regardless, we will be staying tuned to see the next train wreck called Letecia Stauch. Now, if you want to hear more of my commentary on cases like this and other ones, go on and click that video that's going to be popping up there. I appreciate you watching, and I'll talk to you soon.